afternoon, YouTube. It's Melo with George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, it's another week of May, and it's upcoming weekend is Mother's Day weekend. Can you believe it? I mean, I don't celebrate like I used to because it's gonna be 4 years since my mother passed, and it's not really the same for me. But we're not gonna digress too much of that. So we have here is a lovely guest. We had her before. I know you guys, you're a fan of hers because I got like maybe half a dozen guys right now making comments right now. They want to, get their thoughts. We have the lovely Miss Beverly, Jada Beverly, and we're gonna, she knows she has some stuff going on right now, and she wants to share with us an update. So, welcome back, and and shoot us the shit. What about you? What you're going through, and everything else. Just share.
So yeah, it's been an interesting I want to say enlightenment for me lately. And we're going to get into that a little more, I guess. Because I think that the industry as a whole, they really only know me kind of like, I think my upcoming into a pro and as being one. They don't really know how all that came about before, the turning of pro. But I think most people understand that I did turn pro in physique, and I think even you know what show that was. Maybe you do.
USA is 2019.
Yeah. Do you know what show it was?
The USA's.
Yes. The sorry, I didn't hear you say that. Yes.
Nebraska.
In Nevada, what we consider to be the prestigious one, and we only say that because it was the first, and also it was the one that we have had the most Olympians, become Olympian champions. So I was hoping that would work for me, but we'll see. But yeah, so that's where it all started. But um, before then, I actually started in figure as a complete novice amateur pro, not pro at all. I never did pro in figure. Um, we'll get into that why later. But yeah, I started in figure and could not get my pro card in figure for the life of me. I did, I don't know, 3 national shows, and I want to say the best one might have been 10th out of 23 at Miami. You remember when Miami used to be the other big one, the other championship for nationals? But they did move it. They moved it, I think, to Texas.
Yeah, they moved to Texas last year.
Yep. So that was kind of interesting because we had a client that went to that. But I didn't go. Apparently I should have. But anyway, make a long story short. So some fans of mine, and I think you and I were talking about this, and they were kind of asking me, where do I come from? What has started this whole thing for me? Why did I become the athlete that I guess I am today, for a nutshell? But honestly, I don't know a lot about my childhood. It's a little bit of a blur, because my biological parents did not raise me, and uh, the father really wasn't in the picture. And I know that there are plenty of folks that can attest and identify with something like that when you don't know a father figure or your actual father. And I think some people probably feel a little bit of it's called like internal abandonment trauma, because that's a hard thing to swallow when you become an adult. And I was raised by the next best thing in the family, and bless their hearts, I think they just didn't know at the time, but they did the best they could. They weren't really in a position to have another child in their life. It was very hard. It was very hard growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I did grow up with quite a bit of abuse, a lot. So it's, from a young child, I've had to overcome things consistently. I've been kind of wired to do that at this point now, always finding a way to overcome something. But I did that. And I think one thing that is really important is everybody has a little bit of this in them where they need to have or feel some sort of purpose, you know? I think purpose is a huge thing. And so I wanted a purpose growing up, and I kept, you know, my parents at the time wanted me to do equestrian, 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 equestrian. And that was great and all, but there's no money in equestrian half the time unless you're talking about races or something. But anyway, so that's what I did, even though I wanted to do so much more. I wanted to be a child singer. I wanted to model. I wanted to do pageants, get in plays and stuff. And I only briefly got to do it, you know, a little bit, but not to the point that I wanted them to really push me and help me get there. Um, but when I grew older, you know, and college just wasn't doing it for me. So um, I ended up joining the military, and I think you know this. And I was in the Navy for about 4.5 years, and it taught me some things. It definitely did. And then I also found a way to earn an amount of money that I was like, okay, when I get out, this is what I'm going to do. So I went in, you know, at the age 18, and I got out shortly after, 23 or something like that. So I'm like, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing pageants. So I started doing pageants. But one thing that stopped those after doing 4 was a very small one I won. And then they throw you into the big leagues for the international level. They skip nationals altogether. I was told by a judge, because at Miss Ohio, I even placed top 15 once, right? But at this show, coming off of my winning state, whatever, you know, I didn't even crack top 15. And so it was like an eye opener for me. And, you know, I was able to talk to one of the judges and find out why. And they told me that my body was too athletic, and that's the reason they can't score me well enough to do pageants, because the clothes don't wear me, I wear the clothes, and it's too much for the look that they go for in pageants right now. Which, I mean, it's kind of true. They are very tall, slinky girls, so it made sense. And I'm like, they're right. I'm not that body type, not at all. So
Well, like I
then I
said,
started.
well, like I
Go
said,
ahead.
everybody's it's not is going to be fit the mold, especially in the pageant stuff, because
Yeah,
there are certain look. You know, you have to be. I face a lot of issues also with being a pageant competitor, because sometimes you know you have to look a certain way. That's
exactly. And
and
I
it
didn't
doesn't
have.
work.
Yeah, I didn't have
But
one of those looks. The face and the personality and the talent was there, but I did not have the body type. And then my bone structure was not going to give me that body type. So I was like, dang, what do I do now? Because, you know, for me, like I said, mentioned before, I'm always looking for purpose. You know, I need purpose in my life. So then I started looking towards the bodybuilding world. I had already known about Arnold. I already had seen one come through course, living in Columbus. And, you know, I had already known about the big timers, you know, Ronnie Coleman in his time. And he was just an incredible work of human art. And some of the others, to name a few, like Jay Cutler and all of them, Kevin. But anyway, so I knew that the world existed, but at the time it was a little bit smaller than it is now. And I did my first show not knowing anything. I didn't know nothing. And I did figure on heels. And I ironically was not posing properly. And I say ironically because it's the very thing that is kind of like my signature coaching thing right now that I do for people, is helping them pose. Because my first show was a disaster. um, it was called the Buckeye Classics right here in Columbus, and it was 16 novice competitors, meaning they'd never won a show or maybe done a show, but some of them had proper coaching. So 16, and I got ninth somehow. And I remember a coach coming back to me and he's like, you know, if you would have put your feet like this and done that, you probably could have at least got seventh or sixth even. And yeah, so that was the door opener for me to go into the fitness world and start to explore. And I liked it enough, and I saw that, okay, I can grow, I can learn more, I can do better. So uh, before I did the Cardinal, I got a coach. um, and
Who
I
was your
did a lot
coach?
better. Back then, it would have been a guy named Rich Lore, who is still out of Ohio currently and has his own gym, but they're kind of more fit towards, I want to say, CrossFit and Spartan racing and strongman stuff, powerlifting. They're a little bit more into that. So he helped me out, and then we did the next show, which was a little bit of a smaller show, and I got second place in that one. So that was exciting. So fast forward, I don't want to get too boring into that. Um, the number of shows I've done in totality of all has been 28 shows. 11 of those amateur shows, 7 of those national, and 10 of those pro. So that in a nutshell is so far my number. Now, the highest placement I've gotten so far, and you know what show that was, because we
Tampa.
just did it. Huh?
It was actually it was, forget, it was Daytona.
Yes, Daytona.
Daytona. Yeah, that was because you were third. It was third or
Right.
second. Yeah,
Right.
third. And you look pretty because you was like we hadn't seen you since that year before because
Yeah, when I did the worst show of my life, which was the Indy Pro.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that one. We'll get into that one a little bit, because here's what went on with that. But we'll backtrack a little bit as to why I switched from physique over to bodybuilding. I kept getting told, and we talked about this maybe briefly before, I kept getting told by judges that I had the look for it, but there was just something that was just too dominant about me that wasn't working for physique. And they usually would try to make mention that maybe my muscle bellies, especially in my lower half. I know Sandy had told me that before. I know Tyler was always telling me, you're going to have to get your butt down. You're going to have to get your butt down. And it's like, I will be honest with you. Like, I tried everything I could. I starved myself to death. I trained a certain way to try to shrink that thing down. And I managed to get it smaller, but I don't think I ever managed to get it down to the, like some of the top Olympian girls. I've just not been able to get it down like that, So I'm like, let me try bodybuilding. Jumped into that. But the problem with that was, it seemed like the industry did not appreciate me doing that. Or maybe it was who at the time was heavily, heavily supporting it. Those that are, really supporting and promoting bodybuilding. I don't think they liked me in it, because every show I did, it was like out of the top 10, except for an accidental top 10 placement, which, Tampa, because someone got disqualified, so it moved me into the top 10. I wasn't supposed to get top 10 at Tampa. I will be the first to tell you. And it was such a shocker to me, because I come back for the night show because I'm a pro. I have sportsmanship. I'm going to show up at the show of 21 female bodybuilders, which they never even said that was my debut. Never even got to say that as my bodybuilding debut. So there I am, and the announcer, well, not the announcer, but the expediter lady was like, "You got to come up here. You got to get prepared to do your routine." I said, "My routine?" I said, "I'm not even in the top 10." She's like, "Yes, you are, and you're first." What? Wasn't even ready to do it. So if anybody has ever looked at Tampa and saw my performance for my pro debut routine, if it seemed a little bit off or could have been done maybe a bit better, it's because I was, what is the word? Totally blindsided that I needed to do it, because I didn't even practice it. Like when we had that break, my mentality was already shut off. Like I was already like, okay, great. I don't even have to do this thing. So it's one of
Yeah.
the reasons I teach my clients, expect the unexpected. You never know. Because I learned that day that you just never know. So anyway, you were about to ask me something.
Well, actually, we have some people who want to make some
Oh,
comments because we have a bunch of people here right now.
oh,
We have
good.
here. This is from doctors Clarence and Jolene Walker. I won't say Jay because I don't know how to say your name right. Oh, I think she know who you're talking about. Money J, yeah, big top tier female FBB pro athlete. And also, this is from there. It says, love her to. She's an awesome ambassador of the sport and so sweetheart. You know,
Oh, that's so nice.
also, this is for Warrior 2000, a top women's physique competitor that's really popular right now. This certain special person, yeah, waiting for the day to come when she comes into this channel as a guest. Yeah, that's my man, Warrior 2000. Also, he says it's been a long while since we seen Jada on social media. On YouTube, I was getting the feeling that she gave up on social media altogether. Another one from
No,
Ward. Yeah, she has a huge fan base and doesn't let trivial things on social media affect her daily life. Got to give her credit for always staying positive throughout any situation too. Thank
right.
you again, Warrior. Appreciate it. Shout out to my man Warrior 2000. So as you know, you were talking about the Tampa show. How
Yeah.
it really was. That was your debut that year because I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the first interview, you competed at the Ultima Classic with Mela Ash in
Yeah.
2020.
And that was like, gosh, that was what, the third show of 2020? Yeah, it was the third one.
Mhm.
So, yep. And then we both did after that when we flew right over to Florida and we did New York Pro that was in Florida due to COVID. And that's when she won her first bodybuilding and I did the New York physique. Um, Came in a disappointing seventh. A lot of people were confused about that. They just knew I was in the top five, but I wasn't. I think there was 15 of us that day. So never done the New York since. um, but yeah, the ultimate show for me that I really proved to myself, even nobody else in the judging lineup agreed, I guess. But I had people come to me that day. I had people that never said anything to me before uh, post things to me on my Instagram and Facebook page and social media that after they saw Savannah, which is not a show anymore, the Savannah in 2021, I went over there and brought the absolute best bodybuilding package imaginable for me. I mean, I even surprised myself because a little bit of info for you all. I was dead sick the days leading up to that show. So
Mm.
it shudders me to wonder what I could have looked like if I wasn't taking NyQuil every night. But I was sick and I was like so determined to deal with it. And I was already at the show and I'm like, you know what? I look good enough to still look good and I still look good. And I dried up that night, that Friday night for stage and did look a lot better. But because I was sick, could I have looked even better? Maybe. But that's beside the point. They didn't care. They did not award the look. They did not care. And there were people that were very shocked about that. I mean, I even had competitors say things to me back there. Linda Murray came up back there behind me because I'm standing on stage and she's sitting there with her mouth open like, why hasn't she been called to the middle?
Mm.
I mean, I never got called. In other words, like even when you're in the lineup on stage waiting to get some type of call out, they never called me out. As a matter of fact, there was 18 or 19 girls, and by the time they got to the last five, they just said, ladies, the rest of you come on out to the stage. And so I just walked on out there and I planted myself in the middle. I'm just like, well, now they've got to call my number to get me out of this middle spot. Never happened. It never happened. And I'm like, what is going on? And I could have sworn, I was like, I am dead last. They literally gave me dead last. So when I looked at the scoreboard, or when I saw the scores come out, I was once again 11th place.
Mhm.
Now, isn't that ironic?
Like I said, you know how these judges now, they look for a particular look, and you know,
I
I've seen
actually don't
girls.
blame the judges for that. I don't. I
Oh,
don't think it had anything to do with them.
oh,
I think it had a little bit to do with something else, but we're not going to get into that.
yeah.
I
Well,
do not fault the judges on that.
yeah. Well, we got some more comments here. We got a man Ward 2000 says, I'm sure she's going to qualify for the Olympia soon and get back onto the stage again. Shout out to him. He's like, a question says, Jada Beverly, single or married?
I am not married.
Well, she's not married, so you know, guys, the question is. And also, this is from the Wisdom of Psychology channel. It says she's beautiful. Um, Also,
Oh.
we got here from my man Tony 97 says, "Hello there, Jada. You look phenomenal. Hope everything is doing all right. All right, shout out to him." Also, this is from a man Money J 2023. Is Jada competing in any shows this year? Well,
Well, you're going to have to stay tuned.
we'll get to that.
We're
And
halfway through this.
yeah. Also, we got this from Lionel Stud. He says Jada is fine as AF. So you know these guys. When I get a girl, especially so pretty as Jada, they get excited. Jada, I keep telling you, get excited. They act like act like that episode of Chappelle Show when Charlie Murphy meets Mickey Free. Said, "Yo, Chris got a new girl. He finds a motherfucker." That's how they get excited about. So after Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
Then what was your feeling? You felt
I
like
literally felt like I was up against a very big battle that I didn't have an army for. So I tried to figure out how I could make myself have some type of defense mechanism. Because I had already switched to bodybuilding. I'm like, there's got to be a way. And so I was like, I'm going to have to play the political card. So I thought I was doing that by paying big money into the sport. I got my team together, and I had been, I had planned to do this for a while. Brand my name. And you can think this to a certain someone, even though she doesn't speak to me anymore. It doesn't mean that I didn't take her advice or that I think that she was a phenomenal athlete. But for whatever reason, Margie Marvelous does not speak to me anymore, but it's okay. I still love her, and I thank her for this advice. The one thing she told me to do, she said, brand your name. She said, you need a brand. And I did that. So because I had already been coaching people and developing myself as that. And I was like, you know what? It's time to brand name this company. And so that's what I did. And I decided to call it off of my old YouTube name because I used to play video games. Yes, me. And I had a YouTube channel for my gaming a little bit, and it was already called, my game name was Goddess Jada. Okay, whatever. Don't ask. I don't know where that came from. But anyway, I think a fan called me that once, and I was like, I love that. And so I used it. And so I wanted to call my channel The Realm, So it was called Goddess Jada Realm, The Realm. And so I said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to call my fitness world the Muscle Realm. And so they're the origin and the birth of the Muscle Realm. So yeah, that's exciting. We're very happy about this. And the reason I didn't choose to use purple is because it is for everyone, not just women. We have tons of men. We have done great things for men. Some of my first clients were men. So we branded it. We got together and we said there was some money coming in from a very special person that is not really part of my life, but that's okay. And he was in a very tragic accident. And geez. Yeah. So yeah, it was bad. And he had so much passion for the sport. and he didn't know if he was ever going to compete again. And, I was sitting on a little bit of extra money, and the other guy had some money, and he said, you know what, I have the rest of it. I was like, will this be enough? Can we do the show with this? And I said, let me call up Dave Bowers and find out, because he was the promoter of the Indiana show, another show that doesn't exist. So I said, Dave, I know you're coming back from COVID. The 2021 show was beautiful. And I said, would you be opposed to letting a female bodybuilding show in? And he goes, I wouldn't be opposed of letting any kind of show in, especially females, because I don't really used to have bikini. Oh, I'm here still.
Yeah, I was wondering.
He had bikini once, but so we did the configurations and we figured out that it was going to cost a whopping pretty much eight grand when you put together the merchandise I needed to bring for the booth, and I had to pay the sanction and then of course the placements. So it was about 8 grand. So we put that show in, and then it was suggested that I do the show, and I was just like, I don't know if that's a good idea. And then we decided, yeah, because this is called playing politics. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But tragically, before that show, I did get something 6 weeks out. We don't know what it was. I want to say it was Omicron, COVID brand, whichever chain that was, and it lingered. Anyway, so it really challenged me, and I really wanted to just pull out and focus on the show. Focus on just being there as a show sponsor, whatever. And because in the end, we really only had 5 girls in that one, including Stephanie, which I thought she was going to win it, but she didn't. But anyway, that's a long story. Yeah. So after that show, and I still just could not figure myself out. I still couldn't figure out what to do with bodybuilding. And I was just like, it can't be my calling, because no one likes me in this sport. They do not like me in bodybuilding for some reason. I'm not doing well. Even when I'm doing good, I'm still doing bad. And I didn't know what to do. I got very sick. I stayed sick after the show too. I had health problems I never even thought I ever would have. I didn't know what was going on. And this kind of goes to that line of feeling like you have, like I said, I have to have purpose. And I didn't feel like I had any purpose anymore after that show. I felt lost. I didn't think I was ever going to compete again. I didn't think that anything I did was ever going to work. And bodybuilding certainly wasn't, because even my health was rejecting it. And 2022, between May and all the way to September, I feel like that was the absolute lowest I've ever felt. I don't think I've ever felt that low. I didn't think I had a career anymore. I thought that the 10 years that I spent trying to turn pro and go pro and be pro was lost. I didn't know what I was going to do with myself, because for 10 years, that's all I did was compete and train and coach. And then I had just launched the business, and because I was doing so poorly, it was starting to do poorly. And it was just a disaster, And then a certain someone, and I know he knows who he is, randomly came into my life over a story on Instagram that I posted about the Rings of Power TV series that I started watching. And it just all started from there. And it was like, it kind of saved my life, on that aspect of things, because I was poor in my physical being. I was poor in my emotional being. I was poor in my physical being, spiritual, and even my financial being was poor. Everything was terrible.
I can tell you about the financial stuff. I've been poor most of my life, but now I'm broke.
Yeah. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
You know what it's like to feel that low, And it was bad, and the fact that I was able to come out of that slowly. And then once I came out of it more and more and I started to feel better, I got healthy again. Um, I started thinking, actually, it started as a challenge. Somebody bet me after Christmas that if I lost something, we betted on something and I lost. But I made the bet challenge. Like I said, okay, fine. If I lose, I'll compete again. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to lose and I'm not competing again. So I lost whatever bet it was. I don't even remember. And I'm like, oh God, I have to compete? Shit. So I started thinking, and this is where you may have a picture that I sent you that you might be able to present. It was me at a very normal state, and I think I was in a studio. And it's just, it's a good showing of how I looked when I was like doing nothing training wise
I
with
believe I have
myself.
that because let me pull it up. I got it. I put it on my IG. I got a couple of pictures I did.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah, I
should
think it's
be,
a couple of them back after this.
yeah, it's like right around here. Yeah. And we shoot right here. This
Right
is just one
there.
of them here.
So that is me, y'all, when I don't do anything at all with anything, upper body especially. so, so I was looking at this and I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, what do we do now? Because I have downsized a little bit. And I'm like, let me attempt to go back into physique. And I was like, if I'm going to do that, I need to do it on my own time frame, the way I want to do it. And so that was the start of last year's prep, starting a little bit around this time, more like April, but I lost a few weeks. And I went into that prep kind of slow and easy, wasn't even sure which date of a show I was going to make. And finally, it turned out to be the Daytona Pro, which was at the end of September. And I flew down there not knowing what was going to happen, nervous as all get out. At this point, I'm stage gun shy. I don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to accept me back? Like, am I going to look good? Like, what's going to happen? so, yeah, it was very scary. So, but shocking. I managed to do very well. And, you should have seen the look on my face when I first saw the show list. And I'm like, because it started with 22, but 2 of them disappeared. They didn't show. So there was 20 girls. So, I started thinking about all the things that I coach my clients. Michael Phelps, no one's here but you. Tell yourself so that you can like not freak out. And so that's kind of like what I did. And I know who I was up against. I know I was up against the girl that won it last year. I knew Heather Grace was here. And the 2 things that I'd been in her with previously, she'd actually beat me. But she's a 3-time Olympian. I don't even remember how many times she's gone to Olympia. But anyway, so we're all there. And it turned out that shocking, I got pulled into first call out and moved around a bit and shuffled, and to the point where I didn't know where I was. And my buddy slash team member slash company partner was there with me, and I said, I got off stage and I was like I can't believe I'm in the top 5 at least. I was like, I think I might, maybe if I'm lucky, be getting 3rd. I'm like, but I don't know. He's like, no, you're not getting 3rd, you're getting 2nd, but you should be getting 1st. That's what he said. I said, whoa, no, I'm not getting 2nd. I'm like, if I'm lucky, I'm getting 3rd.
Yeah, because I know a couple ladies that did that show. I interviewed that year. Laura is the young lady, Laura, Jackie Hale. Also, I think Melanie Hoyt was at that show too.
Okay.
Yeah, and
yeah, there's a lot of them from different countries too, which is really unique.
Because Mimi Salong, she won the show. Heather took 2nd, took 3rd, and you took 2nd. And that was I think, probably one of your best showings, especially for women's physique.
Which is kind of weird because guess what? I've always been the type that the first show is like my dust the rust off. My first show is never my best. It's my second, third, and fourth, and then we do not go past fourth, because if we go past four shows, we start going back downhill. So it was very bizarre to me that I was able to produce such a look on top of everything that I'd been through. Um, it shudders to make me wonder if I could have kept going, what I could have looked like a second one, but I just didn't have the time. But yeah, I'm very honored to have been sandwiched in between two Olympians. That's awesome. So, and being that close to almost qualifying, it meant a great deal to me. It meant a great deal to me. It meant a great deal for me to have that kind of ability for my clients to see that anything is possible, and being able to help coach them better, because coaching these people, and a lot of them are doing their first shows this year. A lot of them, I've been helping with their posing, some of which I helped get a pro card. Knowing where I came from and how long it took me to get to where I'm at, that brings a lot of purpose for me. Brings me great purpose, great honor, great happiness to have taken everything that I've learned, everything that has been hard and everything that has been great, and all the victories and even the losses, and learn from all of that and give to these people, and show them the way, and make it so they have every opportunity to do great in the sport. It means a lot to me. And we have a couple girls that are getting ready to compete in this year in the Mike Francois, and Muscle Realm is sponsoring that, so it's very exciting. We're gonna have a booth for once again, and we have a girl that's going to be doing that show, and we hope that she does as great as we believe she has the potential to do. Kind of like Bree did last year, the bikini girl that won the show here in Ohio that's called the Ohio Championships. And that was her first show, and she won the whole thing.
I was interviewing a lady also working with Tiffany
Yes,
Burrow. Tiffany, I think she was doing that show too, I
she
believe.
did. She did do it. I wish I would have had Tiffany a little sooner, because I would have told her, listen, actually figure is going to be our best shot. So let's do that. And if I would have had her from scratch, she would have locked in figure very well. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have her from scratch. Just like I didn't have Valerie Romer, another very predominant, very possible woman to do very well in Masters. Didn't have her from the start. Another little girl that's about to compete at another show that I can't attend, but this is her first show. I am just teaching her how to do wellness. I didn't have her from the start. So when you have them from the start, it's just amazing what you can get them to do, and how well you can get them to do. It's amazing. Yeah. But make a long story.
Yeah. Well, we got some more comments because I got a lot of comments to these guys. I keep wanting to say, this is from Johansson Cooper. Says, looking great, Jada. Also,
Thank you.
This is from, again, this is from Wisdom of Psychology channel. It says, very beautiful. This is from a man, Tony97, says, you seem to be multi-talented. Is being a equestrian your favorite sport after bodybuilding? So let's ask that. And also, this is from my man Chad. He says, hey, brother George, it's your boy Chad again. Hoping all is well. I'm here to give a big loyalty promise. Shout out to you, Miss Jada Beverly, aka the FBB Pocahontas. And Chad also said this. He says, I'm on 30 minutes lunch break, so I'm here for a minute. I'm listening to your story, Miss Jada. Very interesting. So shout out to Chad. Shout out to you guys. And yeah, you seem like you're really busy, because I was like, we were on her IG a while ago. I saw a picture of one of your, looks like one of the competitors. She might be wellness. We'll go back here and
probably.
Yeah, and she's right here. This young lady right here up top. And this is who's Mary? How's her name?
Yeah, Mary. I think it's Zellner.
Sarah,
I always call her Mary, so forgive me, because I remember we had a POTUS session just the other day. I said, "What's your last name?" That's terrible, because we dual coach her. She has a coach that's doing her training and her nutrients, and I'm doing her posing and stage presentation and tanning and all of that. So yeah, she'll be doing the mic Fran that the booth will be going to. I think up above there's a new picture of a new wellness girl. The very first picture, I think, on the list now. Well,
no, I think that's the only one here.
no, you have to update it. There's new ones. There's new ones now.
Let me update it.
But anyway, while you're doing that, let me finish where we are and get into the good stuff.
Right.
We were talking about the second place win at Daytona, which was a very good thing for me. I think it helped restore confidence. It helped restore ability in myself. A lot of things that I thought the lights were burning out of me completely. and for me to act like I didn't go into that show after everything that had been happening with me, scared shitless as to what was going to happen. I was, but I put on my best face and I just, So yeah, it's very exciting, that placement for me. Okay, so the next thing that I know everyone is trying to know what's going on. Everybody was trying to take a shot at guessing, what am I doing next? Where do we go from here, right? If they didn't accept you in bodybuilding, you certainly can't go back to figure where you came from as an amateur, because that wasn't working for you because your butt's too big. You're not able to win the battle against your glutes and legs to shrink them down enough to do physique and actually get the nod and go to the Olympia with that. Where do we go from here? Well, and a lot of people are not going to be happy with me, but I will in fact be switching divisions, and I will in fact be competing this year on a stage sometime in August in the division wellness.
Breaking news, people! There's breaking. Just dropped. She dropped it. She's competing wellness. She's moving over to the dark side.
Sorry, that's what she calls it. But I don't see it like that. It's the light side to me.
I know, but I don't do a lot of content on bikini. I've done some interviews with girls in figure. I've done some interviews with girls in bikini. I haven't got any wellness girls yet because I reach out to them, and I think the mindset, especially I think they have that mentality like bikini girls. Like somebody told me, they just think they're the shit because it's a new division. But I've seen, there's quite a few ladies who's been jumping over. I mean, I know Daphne Carter. Yeah, Daphne Carter, she jumped over, but she went back to wellness. She went back to physique. I've seen some other figure girls. Yeah, I've seen some other figure girls. I think with Daphne because she has bigger arms and it just didn't work for her. She has huge guns. Yeah. And I've seen a lot more. I think there's even a lady who's doing bodybuilding, who's switching over to wellness. And I think one girl who just got her pro card last year, who competed in bodybuilding like a couple of times as an amateur, but she's going back to wellness. And I think that's Taylor Raggi, who won her pro card at Chicago Pro, and then she did Tampa, and she did the Rising Phoenix. We got to hear some comments here. Yeah. This is from 29 Are you focusing only on maintaining your physique now, or will you bulk again in the future? Where she says she's moving up, so she's planning on competing. Also, this is from Lawrence Perkins. Shout out to Lawrence, comes through. He's a fan. He says, "This is good afternoon, Jada, George, and everyone on the chat. How are you all doing this afternoon? Thank you, brother. I'm doing fine." Also, this is from my man KL the Wonder. He says, "What up? Thank you, brother." And also he says, "Hey Jada, when do you going to do lunch?" And this is from we get this from Chad. He said, Chad says, you look amazing, Pocahontas." Yeah. Also, we have here from Warrior. Warrior says this. He says, "Love to have Natalia Abraham Correa on the channel as a guest because she is the sweetest personality." And that's up for debate. But if she ever wants to come on, she's welcome. Also, this is from my man Tony 97 says, "Jada, you are a goddess." And we squeeze this one more in, and this is from my man Tony says, "Both men and women in the sport of bodybuilding needs to be treated fairly and equally, because we are both of the human species." Yeah, well, that's great. It's great to be nice to be like that, but we all know the truth that men is always going to get more money more than the women, and it's just a double standard of the sport. So now you're switching over to wellness, and that's like 3 divisions
Yeah,
as a pro.
I know, right? And 4 in my entirety of doing this. It's crazy. And it's like, well, how do you do this? And it's like, well, first, let's go back to my roots. Everything I was doing before I hit the barefoot floors, I was doing on heels. I did pageants in heels. I did modeling in heels. I danced in heels. Yes, I danced. We'll keep that short. And yes, I did. I was a ring girl, heels. So believe it or not, and then figure for my first competitions in heels. Believe it or not, I am actually exceedingly comfortable in wearing heels, and I missed them very much the whole time I was competing in the other divisions. I drastically missed them. Like I very much was like, "Where's my heels?" Another thing too, when you pose a lot and you have to be artsy about, showing your body, it also helped kind of, or I had to uh, kind of smother my other personality into a box and close it, because in the categories I was competing in, you really can't show this other side. So believe it or not, I actually have a very bouncy, energetic, kind of like a seductive, kind of flirty, sexy side to me when I'm on stage. And I've never been able to work a stage like that because I haven't been in a division where I can do that. So, I've not been in a condition where, I can use my hair, like I can do that kind of thing. You don't really do that in physique. You need to actually get it up off you. And so I did that for Daytona. I pulled it all the way up, and that was a great thing for that division. Same thing with bodybuilding. You have to put it away. And in figure, you had to constantly move it. But now you can just let it do whatever it wants to do.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's
Um,
only bikini and wellness the only two division where because they don't want to see your back. They want to see your backside, but they don't want to see
yes,
the details of your back
right,
compared
right,
to like bodybuilding, physique, and
right.
even figure. Because those divisions were, especially with figures, more dominant about. I know interviews where they say who do figure, it's more dominant about the shoulders and the back,
Yeah,
and the back is important part of back can make or break how you place at the show because you were at the
yeah,
New York, you were at Indy with Teresa and Vosik, and she has a good back, and she just won her last Olympic qualification, and if just as it's more about the aesthetics of the legs and the glutes and
yeah.
and maintaining a look of femininity. Here we have some comments here,
Uh-oh.
and this is from Chad says, "Well, Mr. George, I'm going to head back. Brother, I will be back soon. Miss Jada, I will message you again on IG later tonight. Big congrats to you and you again, sweetheart." Also, this is from Man Money J says, "Sometimes I guess they get tired, sometimes they don't depend on the person." Yeah, I understand that part, he says. Also, this is from Chad says, "Great interview. I wish I didn't have to go, but I can make it up to you, Miss Jada. Hugs and kisses. Talk to you later." He has to go back to work. This is from Man Tony says, "You look perfect either way." This is from Binta Ona, I think. "This is awesome return. We love Jada." Yeah, and it was good. And this is from
Bless you.
oh, silences. Oh, and this is from Darla Foy. He says, "Wellness, yeah. Super excited for my
Oh,
girl."
I know her. She's
Yeah,
so
thank you.
sweet.
Yeah. And
She's a very good figure competitor.
well, okay, cool. And also, this is from a man, Money J says, "Gotta to head on. see you. Yeah, okay. Okay. Thank you for coming through, brother. Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, head out. He says heading out. And also, this is from Lawrence Perkins. Says whatever decision on your division in the bodybuilding sport, that's all it matters. Always follow your heart. Shout out to him. So,
Well, I'm definitely going to follow my body type this time. That's for certain. And we'll get into more of that. So put away the heels and forget the hair. But the most important thing is I learned something about myself. Well, one thing that I kind of knew with physique that I already knew, and that was I would struggle to win the battle over my lower half. But the thing that I learned about myself when I got very sick and I took some time off and I didn't train, so did some cardio just to keep blood flow going, was I can lose a lot of what I built for so many years up into the sport up here. I can lose that. And that's a big deal because when wellness first came out, the idea that made me smirk, and it was because of my honest jealousy, because I'm like, oh, so now they want to come out with a sport that's perfect for my rear end, and I can't even do it because I built this up. So, but, after seeing, how I shrunk down like that, which I didn't even know was possible, I was like, okay, this is crazy. But I would win a battle up here over down below. So I allow this stuff down here. I encourage it to be big, right? I encourage it to do what its natural state wants to do instead of fighting it. And I allow this to trim down. Boom, you have your wellness look, because that's all it is. And I used to think that it was going to be a lot more cartoonish than it is. And when I say cartoonish, I thought that it would be a 40%, 60%. But when I see the girls that are doing exceptionally well in the sport, and that would be the girl that's got the titles of everything right now, is Francia, or however you say her name. She is 45, 55. They seem to want it to be a little closer than you think. It's a little closer than you think. Yes, noticeably development here is stronger, but it's just not so as asymmetrical as I thought it was going to be. When I really broke down the top girls, they're pretty close up here, but they're not, it's not completely balanced, but it's a good look. It doesn't really look that bad, at all. I don't mind it. The waists are very tight and small. And there's 3 mandatory poses for wellness. You have 3 options for a front pose, but you are usually going to see the dominant one used and the other 2 used to do transitions, which I really like. And I've been teaching my clients that, and they've been looking really great. And it's really fun because unlike bikini, you do have to have some muscle on you, but you have to be careful too, because you can mess it up. Because with wellness, you can't come in too soft, but you can't come in too hard. So it's a little tougher than a lot of people give it credit for, and that's okay. And I've already injured myself training my lower half for wellness. So think about that. My knee got ticked off with me the other day, and so we're letting that settle. Because you got to get down low with wellness. You got to get down real, real low.
yeah, because with wellness, it's more about you got to do a lot more leg work because it's focused on the glutes and the
Yep.
quads,
Yep.
bringing it up to a certain size.
And your
also
hamstring tie-ins.
Yeah. And also, some of those girls, they borderline look like at the top. They look like bikini competitors, but in the bottom, like almost like bodybuilders. It's like
But now it's like I said, the 45, 55. The top of them look a little more figure without the back. Figure without the back. And then bodybuilder lower half. Yes.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's a popular division because I just saw a while back Tyler Mannion did a thing where they're putting up more prize money for that division.
They
Yeah,
are, and that
because
was the other point I was going to make, because everybody wants to know the purpose for why I'm doing this and the reason behind it. So we already talked about hair and the way I like to work a stage naturally. We already talked about heels. We already talked about the body type. So now let's get into the real good. Um, as this sport has sprung itself upon the world, and when I say world, you wouldn't believe the global shows there are. Like, it shocked me. I'm like, wow, I can go there. I can go there. This is awesome. I mean, I'm like totally stoked. I already have like 2 shows that are in a different country already picked out, and I got my first international credit card. I can't wait to use this. Like, I am prepared, and we'll get into that just before the end. So it's very globally loved for some reason. I mean, I get it though. Like, you look like a superhero woman with like these big storm, X-Men storm legs. But anyway, they're giving quite a bit of money out into the placements. There are tons of shows. Some of these shows they're placing all the way to 5th place. And there's a lot of sponsorships involved with it. There's a lot of room for growth and opportunity. There's room to travel. They're giving more money. They're giving a darn good amount of money already for it at the Olympia. They're giving the 50,000, but the Arnold, he's talking about giving 100,000 to these women. I mean, at all of his shows, like, whoa, that's a lot of money. Um, So, I mean, yeah, there's every reason. And one of the other major factors, other than the money for me and, the possibilities, is on a health standpoint, which is very important to me, which is why I couldn't do bodybuilding very well, which is why I give so much admiration to those girls that pull bodybuilding off the way they do. I have nothing but utmost respect and admiration for Andrea and what she can do. Because that girl can do something I cannot do. And I will admit that. I cannot do that. It's
yeah,
amazing though.
she's a queen. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Andrea. I think she has that great look to her. It's just,
Yeah.
and I
And she
think
can pull it off and be healthy. I try to do that and I might die. So so wellness, for me to do that, I can significantly take a lot less things that I need to in order to master that look and come in right. And that's huge for me, because that was the other big deterrence for me competing, is that my health risks involved here, of the things that I have to do, how low in body fat I had to get, just all of that. So even if for whatever reason here in the United States, because I doubt overseas, because they have no clue who I am, and I could be from anywhere. If they don't accept me in it, if they for whatever reason don't like me in that either, and I didn't do well in it, I can at least say this: I am enjoying myself. This is fun. I like this. This is totally me, and I'm healthy, and I'm okay, and I can do this until I'm 50. So that's a big deal for me. Um, so that's, in a nutshell, the many reasons that I definitely am doing wellness. And you can also blame my clients, because the majority of them, they're going to be bikini and wellness. And when I first get some of them, I have to show them a lot of poses, and it's hilarious to watch me do bikini poses. Believe me, it's hilarious.
well, bikini wellness are the 2 top popular divisions.
Right.
Like, men's classic, because those are divisions where it's a lot easier
Yeah,
to
I don't know
maintain.
about that though. People say that because it looks easy, but there's a lot that goes into those classes that arguably they're not as easy as you think. Not really.
Mm.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're just here to talk about, because I'd done those poses so many times, and I started watching myself do wellness poses, and I was like, that's really when the light bulb went off. And it literally happened just before Christmas. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's wellness. That's what it is. It's wellness. I'm supposed to do wellness. And that is like how it all started.
Well, we got here some comments here. We got my man Tony 97 says, what's the favorite part of your physique? So, he wants to know what's your favorite part.
Well, if
What's your
you
favorite
ask a person by the name of John, he's going to tell you butt.
part? Yeah. Well, John, we know what John's thinking about when he says but. This is from KL. He says, how long it took you to grow your threads,
No, well, they're
threads,
not dreads, they're braids.
braids. There's braids is a big difference. You know, dreads a lot more thicker.
Oh, yeah,
They're
these
heavier.
are
Yeah,
tiny little things.
yeah, they're braids. Also, this is from me, War 2000s. Jada Beverly looking like Tessa Thompson, Valkyrie from the MCU films. Yeah. Also, he says, I'm surprised Jada didn't cosplay as Tessa Thompson, Valkyrie from MCU films, movies, because she would look way more better than Tessa. Just saying.
Great, now
That's a
Tessa Thompson's going to hate me. I'm just kidding.
nice.
No,
And
it was discussed, but I didn't get I wasn't going to be able to get the suit in time. So,
the next time you can probably get suit. This is from me.
but I really enjoyed being Bela from the Targaryen / Driftmark, because ideally the way they're projecting her in the TV series, I look exactly like her. So, who doesn't want to be a Targaryen?
Like I said, I like the original Game of Thrones. I hate that last season where they messed it up. They could have ended better.
Oh,
But yeah, but like I said, yeah, I remember you so send me these pictures of this, and
yeah,
I
I'm
said,
supposed to be Bela in this when Bela gets, she's going to be of age in this next series coming out in June. She's going to actually be of age, meaning like an adult. She's been a kid lately, but so I've been playing her in the future as the adult Bela. But it's been fun.
yeah, you should enjoy yourself. I mean, like I said, life is precious, and you should take the time and do what you like to do. We got some comments here. This is from my man KL, the one who says, when you work out, do you listen to some tunes?
Yeah,
What
I
music
do.
you want to? He said I meant artists. So and
They're all EDM artists, all of them, which would include a lot of stuff from a band called Seven Lions, and I do listen to Winter Sun, and I do listen to some artists that are from another country like Finland and stuff they're considered like rock, or metal. I'm not sure. And then I also listen to things from Excision, like that real EDM type, like very energetic, very high end music.
yeah. This is from man Warrior 2000 says, Jada has that Thor, Lord and Thunder, Valkyrie look. She can rock the outfit and get a sword and kill it. All right. Also, my man KL says, what are the clients do you have competing? So she already mentioned her clients.
Yeah. So we have
and
across the board a little bit of everything. This year we have, because I did have a bodybuilder, but he dropped out due to just too much stuff going on with family. But there's a Masters men's classic he turned pro 2 years ago, did the Daytona with me, and did 5th and 4th. He did excellent, and now he's going to do a Masters pro. And then we got girls, lots of girls doing wellness, crossing over to bikini. We got some figure girls, and we got a figure masters that's going to do figure and bikini. I don't have any physique women. Shocking. I have a physique guy and a potential classic physique. We'll see. But I don't literally have any physique women that I'm training right now or posing, which is very weird. I did a couple years back, but for some odd reason, I keep getting male bodybuilding, male physique and classic, female figure, wellness, bikini.
mm-hmm. This is from man 297 says, go get that big money, Jada.
We're going to
Also,
try.
yeah. Also, this is from War 2000. Good to know that you stay healthy, Jada. He says, also, this is from him. He says, kudos to you. And he said, I meant shoot your shot with Jada. What shoot shot? What shot? Dude, she got a man now. I mean, I got a shot. Also,
Well,
those
he
are
better put a
braids.
ring on it soon, right?
Yeah, yeah. Those are braids. Interesting, he says. Also, this is from from Tony says, would you ever do a calendar, Jada? Have you talk about
Like what
doing
kind of calendar?
just a calendar? You know how these guys are. Us schmoes. We when you ladies,
As long as it's no complete nudity. I don't
yeah,
do nudity.
yeah, we keep it classic because you know what. Somebody like you guys, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go into her YouTube, her IG for a bit.
Yeah,
Stuff like this, like some of her.
yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, these stuff. This is like, this is what the guys are like.
A lot of people like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. You just had
Yeah.
you had an amazing body, and
I like
and
that one.
yeah,
Yeah, I like that one.
and this is cute, nice little yellow dress. Yeah, and I think
A
this
lot
is
of
the
people
one.
like the water shoot. They like the water shoot.
Yeah, this one right here, because you just. I mean, I think they called you Abzilla on the Female Bodybuilding channel. I remember
Yeah.
you were there, yeah. And water just has that look to it, and you really have evolved over time. And this is a shot where this was John was talking about.
Oh my gosh. I would see that's me just having fun.
Well, hey,
But
hey,
do you see what I mean though? It's a big glute. It's a big glute, like ridiculous size. They should love it in wellness.
yeah, because wellness comes from Brazil,
Yep.
and in that country, maybe those women have those aesthetics. A
Hmm.
while back, there's
And
a little.
hips.
Yeah, a while back there's a little controversy because there was a thing where they was trying to talking about there was this men doing wellness. I mean
Oh God. Like, yeah, I know.
yeah,
What in the world? Really? They don't have
I
hips. I'm sorry, it's not gonna work.
I mean it. Sometimes it's just I know there's some division. I remember somebody said they were trying to do a men's. They did try to do men's
Yeah,
fitness a few years ago,
yeah.
but I think they say it's still popular over in Europe, but it's not IFBB, NPC,
Yeah.
because you just can't catch on. This is from a man, David says, beautiful dress.
Thank you.
And
Still
he
have that dress.
says, hello, everyone. And, thank you, David's coming through. Yeah, I mean, wellness is, like I said, it's a popular division. Instead of again, I'm seeing some ladies moving from physique and from figure and even from bikini to that division. I even see a couple of ladies. I said again that did bodybuilding that's going over there. You have to really drop a lot of muscle
Yeah. And if
because
they're able to do that and transform like that, then like me, for instance, it work. It could work.
Mhm.
But I've been very careful in my prepping into the foundation of getting there. I'm fully in prep now. Probably may start seeing some pictures probably mid-June or maybe right after the Muscle Realm sponsors and has uh, their show at the Mike Classic Francois, the NPC show. And then my my target date is a show coming up in August. It's a new show. If that target date works for that Mississippi show, awesome. If not, I do have 1 and 2 backed up right after that one in case, because that's the beautiful thing about wellness. There's so many more shows. So there's 2 in Texas that could be possibilities if the one that I'm aiming for doesn't work. And
Yeah.
then, huh?
Oh yeah. You say yeah. Okay. Because Texas it's becoming a growing mecca for bodybuilding.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows in August there.
Yeah. Definitely the
um,
Texas Pro is coming. It will cover
yeah,
that soon.
there's that one, and then if one of those pop or both of those work out for me, and I'm looking for a third one, I do plan, and that's why I was throwing around my new travel credit card. That I was well, it's just so ironic that I got it today, and I was super excited about it. I mean, very excited. So my third show plan would be I would like to go to Europe. I would like to go to oh gosh, what is that show called? It's in England. It's an England
The
show.
two bros.
Huh?
Is it the two bros?
It
Because
it
they
probably is. That sounds kind of familiar.
because I know they supposed to have they have a show in the UK,
Hmm.
and the last time they had women's physique, and they was going to try to have women's bodybuilding, but I don't know what happened with that circumstance, why I don't have it, because
Oh, okay.
there was part of the Arnold thing, but then there was that mess that was the year before, and
Yeah.
yada yada, and what about um
They
you know
definitely have wellness this time, and it's the last qualifier over there before the Olympia, so that's going to be an interesting one.
because the Olympia is going to be in October, and I
Hmm.
think the cutoff is like that last week of September,
I'm pretty
or
sure. Yeah.
yeah, so close because there's a couple of shows that's coming up. I think the show in Anaheim where it's going to be women's bodybuilding and physique fitness, and that's going to be I think the first, and then Lena's going to have her show, and I think that might be the cut up line, and after that it's just everything else is going to be for next year.
Right. Yep. Now, if
Yeah.
it doesn't work and I don't qualify for the Olympia, that's okay. I have one more fourth show set out, which would end up being putting me in early November. And that one is in Argentina.
That's a long way to go. But hey, you got the travel credit card. We got
Yep.
here. This is from a man. David says, "You're welcome, Jada, and you are awesome." Yeah, like I said, yeah, these guys get excited down here. But this is like I said, wellness is the division where it's getting popular. It might be the new, like I'll say like this. I call men's open bodybuilding the bottom bitch. It seems like wellness might be it's because they got the bottom. It's going to be the new bottom bitch because it's a lot of getting a lot more sponsorship. A lot more money's getting thrown at it. A
Yeah.
lot more shows, and it's good for those women who you know what they have those as me Keith, Big Keith. He comes out here we do live stream engagements. Those strong Afro aesthetics, the bigger hips, the thicker thighs.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yep.
hard. I think that's why some women moved over to wellness because it was hard for them to get rid of those aesthetics.
Yeah.
If they're like dominant in the legs, even for a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's there. There's nothing you can do about it.
yeah. And like I said, so you're gonna shoot for August,
Yep.
and you already got 4 shows in line,
Right.
and two maybe the first 2 might get you for this year, and maybe the next 2 might get you for next year.
Well, actually, the first 3 could do me for this year, but if they don't work, then I will continue on anyway and do a fourth. Yep.
Yeah. So with the new businesses going, we got
Yeah.
you got the new business. Your
It's
business is
been
going pretty
awesome.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, because by the grace of God, and I thank Him every day, He's just made it possible for me to just have these finances in the brand new set of 2024 to get it going again like it should be and make some of these NPC show sponsors, and that's how you grow it. That's how you get out there. That's how you get more clients. And hopefully, and some of the clients last year did really good. And I can foresee that happening this year. And if they keep, people keep doing good, then the door keeps opening, So it's going to leave room for the team, the Muscle Realm team, to continue to sponsor some shows. And then next year, I think we would like to do something a little bit bigger, like go back to sponsoring a pro show and figuring out what we want to do with that. Because I know that's some money. It is some money, but depending on how good we do, it could be something that we would want to put something in somewhere where we feel like it should be, like we've done before.
Well, I remember last year you said you wanted to do Vancouver, but I think you before you said you want to do the Vancouver show. They added wellness to that show trip, the Vine Island show. And
Vancouver's always too early. You know me. I'm not an early shower.
yeah, and
We could sponsor something early. We could help promote something early. That's totally fine because then that makes it so it's not so difficult for me trying to sponsor something and get ready for a show I'm trying to do as well. But what I don't want to do is sponsor anything that I'm doing like I did the first time. I don't think that that's the right way to go about it. So it really would just be getting heads together and deciding what we should do and where we should go with it. I ultimately have the last say because technically I would be considered the CEO of the company. So, but I do take advice, and we talk about what we want to do. Like, we made a decision, like we wanted to do this NPC show coming up. So yeah, I don't know what exactly we'll do or what show we'll sponsor. Maybe it'll be more than one. Maybe we'll actually put an entire class in somewhere. Depending, I doubt would have to do wellness because there's plenty wellness shows.
Well, like I said, there are some shows that may just have like one or two divisions. All they need is just another division to add to it.
Yeah,
It could be figure, it could be physique, it could be women's bodybuilding. Hell, it could be bikini. Like I said again, it's a popular division, but there's so many shows.
I couldn't imagine me doing that one. Nothing
Yeah,
against them, but there's just too
yeah.
many shows.
Yeah, too many shows because I think they dropped the point system because where it's too many competitors. But
Yeah,
then when you have promoters that because those like wellness, bikini, men's classic, and men's physique, they're easy turnarounds. You can
yeah,
just it,
yeah.
it'll take. They don't go into a deeper prep as compared to the men's division, even the women's divisions. Here we got a comment from Man Warrior 2000 says men's wellness is the most idiotic, ridiculous, insane thing. And I'm glad Talamanian implied that he will not include any more divisions in the IFBB, basically saying no to
No,
men's
it's not
wellness.
happening.
It's not going to happen. This is from man Balls Deep. Balls Deep. He says, "Good afternoon, gorgeous." Also, he likes to say this. He got a new term: smoke gang, 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 gang. So Also, he says, "Good Chicago in here." And
Right.
also, he says, smash the like button. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate you for saying that. And he says, peace and blessings, beautiful.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. See, he's a little nicer now. Yeah,
Nice.
they'll give him a minute. He got one more thing he want to ask. He says, says flex for me, baby girl.
Well, I have to start flexing my butt now, but I don't think it's ready yet. But we're getting there. That's why I
Yeah.
said stay tuned for next month for updates on the first of my wellness look. So,
Well, you think you're gonna do it since you got your YouTube channel? You think you might just, like a lot of like people like Chelsea and some other ladies who have YouTube channels who post like progress. You think you're gonna put it out on YouTube because I know you have the old one. It's still active. I know I found it.
yeah, I just do other things on it. So, you know me, George, just because somebody else is doing something don't mean that's how I'm going to do it. I will probably continuously use my Instagram Muscle Realm as well as the YouTube or Facebook Muscle Realm and my own Instagram page to do most of my updates for really anything.
Yeah. So
And
yeah. So guys, if you want to follow her, like I said, in this live stream, her social media stuff is in the description. You can check it out, follow her, and you guys, my rules, and I gotta tell you that if I don't say it, no D pics. Stop it. I know she's a pretty girl. You've seen the pictures. You get a tickle in your pickle, but don't do it. Come on, have some respect. She gotta, come on. We gotta hear some comments here. This is from a man. Balls, you said she's sexy and swole as AF. Well,
what does it
I think
even
he's swole
mean?
someplace else, Balls Deep. Also, this is from a man, Lion 2012. This is a new guy. Hey, welcome. Says from Toronto, love this podcast. We need Jada in Toronto for an appearance.
Oh, I would
Not too.
love to go to Canada. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
Canada.
yeah. Because you live in Ohio. You're not too far from Canada. I
No,
feel
and I wish their show was later in the year so I could actually do it, but I would have to plan ahead of time to like actually do a Canadian show because they're always so early. Like
yeah.
they're getting
Because
ready to have their other one in what, June?
well, yeah, and then they have the Vancouver. But I don't know if there's the Vancouver Pro, but I don't know if they have wellness.
I don't know, but I bet you they're going to get it.
Yeah, it won't be long because I think it's like you have the Island Show, you have the Toronto
That's
Pro,
the earliest one. I could never
yeah,
do that. It's too early.
yeah, and you have the Vancouver, and I think that's like around about maybe July.
Yeah.
Here we got some comments here. He says, I got you, George. I respect female bodybuilders like Jada. Trust me. Thank you. I appreciate that. They appreciate it too. my man Ballsy says, when's her next competition? Where Ballsy, I know you came a little late. She's planning on do something a little bit around August, around later just into the season. So
Like
just
I always do.
yeah. So whenever she announces her show, I'm gonna put it on my social media and post it. And we appreciate it. And this from my man Ballsy says, yes, Lord. He was looking at the video you saw when you been off your butt, so that's why you got excited. So the peach emoji. And yeah, it's just wellness is I'm hoping to get some girls on here from wellness. I know to talk to them. It's hard to get to them because most of my stuff is women's bodybuilding and physique and some of the other divisions. And this year, we were talking earlier how we noticing that the shows. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of questions about why it's getting so low for physique this year.
So yeah,
Almost,
I know we had this conversation briefly online, but I was trying to make the comment that for those folks that have been in this thing for a while, this whole fitness realm, you'll notice a certain trend, and it's a trend that has happened it has happened all the way back in 2018, where early in the year, less people are ready. Less and less people are ready. More people get ready further and further down. So like it starts you see lower numbers, but as we get to the middle of the year, it gets a little bit better. And then at the end of the year, climbing towards those last shows before the Olympia, these shows are getting stacked. And I'm a late bloomer. I was always doing later shows. So like almost every single show I have ever done has had more than 15 girls in it. Like they just get stacked as you go down deeper into the season. So nothing is changing. No divisions are going anywhere. If there was a number of bodybuilding female shows late in the season, they would get stacked. But I think that there's a few less. I'm pretty sure you'll see plenty of people at that Linda show. You'll see plenty of people at Chicago. You'll see plenty of girls at the Tampa. So they, nothing's going on.
yeah.
The sport is continuously growing. It's not going to stop growing. The only thing that would stop bodybuilding for females here in the US, this doesn't account for overseas because they still do their thing. If Wings of Strength for some reason stopped sponsoring it and promoting it, and we know that's not going to happen. So
Yeah,
it's good, guys. Everything's fine.
Yeah, because Jake, Jake. He's I got to every time I say his name. Yo, Jake. I want that money. I want that gun. And I think I talked about this. Like, I think if he had more people to back him, it might help out Biden a little bit, especially when it comes down to prize money and shows. I mean, at one point there was supposed to be.
They're getting plenty of money right now. They're the most paid female division right now. They get plenty of money at the big shows, obviously.
At the big shows,
but still, those are the ones that Jake controls. So of course he's going to pay him out.
Yeah, as they got a big payout for the Wings of Strength that's coming up in September. Some of it's from, as I say, wellness because they are Wolfpack sponsored the wellness division. Some of that money's come from them. You had Arizona Pro.
Did they put wellness in that show for the first time?
Well, no, I think it's been around for at least about last couple 2 or 3 years.
Oh, really? I never knew wellness was there, but that makes sense.
Yeah, because Arizona, you have the Rising Phoenix, which is the women's bodybuilding championship, and you have the Arizona Pro,
gotcha.
Which is it's just all the other divisions, and I know
when is the Arizona?
Yeah, it shows in Arizona, and
no when.
Arizona Pro. It's gonna be. I'm trying to remember because I just talked about it. We just did a conversation about it. A couple of days ago for live stream. I think it's going to be that August, I believe, because Olympic qualification is going to stop around by the end of September.
Right.
And I think, let me pull up quick. Let me pull up quick.
So I guess my question is it at the end of August or is it at like the beginning of September that they're having the Arizona? And I'm asking this too because I will make sure to plan to do another show on that same weekend because it might give me a very good chance to do well.
Well, let me see. I'm just popped onto the Wings of Strength site.
McAllen, Texas has a show April 31st. Oh my gosh, I'm not in April right now. I'm in August. Sorry.
Let's
They
see.
my last. They have a show August 31st that I was greatly considering.
Yeah, they have, like I said, because this show in Anaheim, but it just have fitness and bodybuilding. No, because
Oh, okay.
and it's somewhere I saw it.
That's smart because those are two of the classes that have the least shows.
Yeah, and because well, fitness is the only one that's still at the Arnold. You
I
know,
know. I can't believe like you can never find fitness anywhere anymore. What is going on?
well, one thing is it's a tough division.
It
It's
is a
probably
tough
one.
division,
It's a
but
tough
we still have
division.
it at the Olympia and at the Arnold. Maybe that's what the Muscle Realm should sponsor.
Yeah, well, we had a couple of incidents. Like Mrs. Trescott, she fell doing her last performance, and she broke her knee. Whitney, it's St. Olympia. Whitney Jones, she her shoulder, she came out. I mean, popped
Yeah,
the
but
shoulder.
do you think about, I hate to say this, but the two that are most notoriously known for incidents are those two, right?
I would say
Did you ever compare to think about the looks that they bring and how lean they are? I think their incident proneness has a lot to do with how freaking ridiculously lean they come in. They almost should do figure. They're coming in that shredded. When you come in that shredded and you're flipping on a stage like that, you're so at risk to hurt yourself.
yeah, because so like you get like good examples like if you look this is somebody I posted. If you look at someone like Missy Trescott and Sarah Vilgas. I think people say the aesthetics are
I
different, but
I have always been very nervous about Whitney and Trescott because when I saw how ripped they get, and I'm thinking these girls have to flip and do tricks. I'm like, they're too ripped up for this. Something's gonna happen. I always thought that because they're just going a little bit too crazy with their look. There's like wellness. I feel like there's a window and then there's like too much and there's like not enough. And I think that's why Ariel is starting to do so well because she is like enough, but she's not too ripped up out of her life, out of her mind, because she knows she has to perform. She has to do acrobatical things. So I really think that that's kind of what the problem is with wellness because the leanest girls I've ever seen do wellness were those two, Missy and Whitney. I've never seen women that shredded do fitness.
well, I noticed one, like I said, one of the ladies who was that does fitness also. She was at the Arnold. That's Tamara Vaughn,
Hmm.
and she I think she fell doing a routine because if you ever seen it, her whole front of her head was scarred up in her nose,
Yeah. But
and
accidents have, it's not like it's never happened, before. They have all through the ages they get hurt. I had a friend that used to do the sport, she would tell me, but I think more importantly, what these bad ones that are happening at like the Olympia level and the Arnold level, and it's happening with these women that are coming in insanely lean, insanely shredded. I think more shredded than what they need to be for fitness.
hmm well, there's one lady who I follow. I'll reach out for an interview one of these days. I hope we get her on. She's from the UK,
Yeah.
and she looks like she should be considered going over to. I'm gonna pull up real quick. This is Michelle Messiah, and Michelle. She wait one second. She looks like she's more close to figure than she is to. I know she competes in fitness. She has a gymnastic background, but she could do figure.
Maybe, but as long as she doesn't get any more shredded, because if she got any more shredded, I would be concerned for her being at risk for injury.
Mm-hmm. Because she has good lines and good aesthetics.
Yeah,
Here she is. Because she does. Like I said, she has that gymnastic background that helps her out. You
right.
know, she don't go too shredded, but it's like I said. You know, it's the evolution of the sport.
Yeah.
The girls. I think they're just getting bigger and bigger. I mean, we talk about. I think the last we talked about how the physique girls are getting more closer to women's bodybuilding.
Oh
You
yeah, I
know,
know. We
you
know.
know, I know. We talked about this. I had somebody reach out to me. So we said, George, I mean, you're asking me, what's going
So
on?
I know people wanted to know the difference, like how it should be judged on a criteria standpoint. So how it's supposed to be judged, the two differences between the two is with the bodybuilding, everything is supposed to be developed. Everything on them is supposed to be developed to some degree, as best they can get it, and still remain somewhat healthy and, have some tapered lines somewhere, have some nice balance, rounded muscle bellies. And then on top of that, you got to get conditioned. That's bodybuilding. Now, physique, the difference is they don't have to necessarily have everything super developed, but they need to have some pronounced, noticeable uh, advantages so that they get looked at. They don't really have to have a super ridiculously wide back or anything, but it needs to be cut up and shapely enough into proportion of the rest of their body. Now, their muscle bellies aren't supposed to be quite as round. They're supposed to be more hard and liney and shredded for physique. Not completely balanced, but balanced enough and a small enough waist, but overall just hardness and lines. That's physique.
Yeah, it's from man Balls who says, what keeps her going in female bodybuilding? What's the like I said, you've been through a lot. I
Well,
mean, most
I'm
people would just
well.
say,
If
you know
he
what?
goes back and listens to the origin, which was what I talked about earlier, which is why that was so important for me to tell you, because that tells you why I'm still here. If it's something that you feel like you have a purpose in, you found a purpose, and you keep that purpose alive. And like I talked to before earlier in the show, when we first started, I dealt through a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of stuff I had to overcome as a child. I was taught to overcome a lot of things to stay alive, survival. Um, so that followed me to where I'm at now, trying to find purpose in something. And even when you've hit rock bottom, you find some little light at the end of the tunnel to keep you moving forward. And then you're rewarded later for making that choice to not give up the fight. Like when I decided to step back on stage for the Daytona show, and I was rewarded second place, my highest placement as a pro. Um, and now it makes me excited to see what I can do with wellness. I don't know where it's going to go, but like I told you, at least I'm going to enjoy the ride this time. At least I'm going to feel healthy and comfortable and happy and have fun, because
Yeah,
it is a fun division. You
yeah,
still have to work to look good, but
yeah. This is from man Balls. He says, how many times a week she trains? So with now you because you know you have
right
to
now
pull.
it's just 5, but we'll move into 6 about
Because
mid season.
and you have to, like I say, change your training methods because it's less work on the upper body, more work on the lower body.
Right. So I do 2 separate types of leg workouts. One is more predominantly for the front side of my legs, but touching on to some glute, some calves, some hamstring. And then the other one is the reverse of that. I predominantly focus on the rear back parts, which we call the posterior chain, and then I'll just touch on the front a little bit, just to let it know I'm still here. We're just going to pump some blood through you. And then I have 2, 3, when I start training 6 times a week, I'll just have 3 upper body light days, and I'll be throwing in ab workouts with those, and there will be 1 additional glute day added to that. So actually I'll be touching the glute 3 times.
Glutes is very important because but I know some people talk, but some women would do like this. They do a little cheat. They might get the oils and stuff, or implants. I think someone talking about one lady who does wellness. She just looks really off. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna mention names.
they don't
But
like that.
yeah,
That's why she don't do good. I know
yeah,
who you're talking about.
yeah. I know
They
you're talking
don't
about.
want they don't want to know and see that you're doing something to yourself
Mhm.
purposefully to get a pronounced look. Oh. But yeah,
Yeah,
so Yeah, so that's pretty much how I've been training for that. And, we shall see. I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea how I'm going to do in this division. I hope that they welcome me with open arms and like me in it. And if not here, then over there, as in overseas.
Because I know this, because there's two different. There's the IFBB Pro League and there's the uh, I IFB Elite. I think I think they split the divisions like a few years ago. But that's one's more Europeanized, one here in the States. I think
Yeah, but IFBB's still over there, and it's just a different platform of judges because they're mainly over there. So, but I clearly was in front of Sergio from South America, who's been judging pretty heavily over here, and he clearly liked me as a competitor because he was the head judge at Daytona, and I just feel like he was okay with what I was,
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first time I'd been under him as a head judge.
Mm-hmm.
So well, that was interesting.
Well, it's a process. Like everybody, we all know, it takes time, takes work. You got to follow your diet. You got to do this, do that. There's a lot to the sport that people may not understand. And sometimes you have to make sacrifices. Somebody you got to ask yourself, is the risk worth the reward? But
we tried to make it so.
Mm-hmm. I think you would do pretty good. You have a particular look to you. If you bring everything together, I think you might even get your Olympic qualification in this division.
Yeah, maybe this is the one. I don't know. Yeah. Be nice.
Anything in life is like hit and miss, and sometimes you have to like to quote my man Rocky Balboa. Sometimes you got to take it's no matter how hard you can hit, so how you can take the hits, keep moving forward.
Yeah, you gotta take the nosedive and then come back up.
yeah, that's why people love Rocky. He's just a great. So, folks, like I said, this was a great opportunity to talk with Jada again.
If anybody has any questions for me, just text or just hit up my my Instagram if you guys have any questions that I didn't clear.
Yeah,
clear up.
She's doing her makeup right now.
Well, I just looked at myself and I was like, "Where's my lipstick?"
This is the first time I had somebody do makeup do an interview. Okay, that's cool. But we're gonna say this.
It must be a wellness thing.
Yeah, that's why it's called a dark salt. Like I said, I do wish you the best of luck. I mean, it's like I said, it's gonna be trial and error.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think maybe hit the right judges, the right show. Like I said, it could get you Olympic qualification. I mean, some people take the usually I know some people say, "Oh, I take a year or two off and just work on a few things," but you competed last year, and now you're making debut this year. Then you feel like you might need maybe a little more time to really especially you coming doing wins physique and bodybuilding for such a good while and going over to the division.
No, because what you need to do is you need to prop up that picture that I sent you where it's a back and a side view of the Daytona show, and I showed you that one for a reason because when you cover up my back, all things set aside, look how dominantly large my glute from the back and my legs from the back look. That's what they're looking for in wellness. Mm-hmm. And so I've been doing my work, trimming all of this down, and we all know that my waist is going to come in tight because I always bring a small waist. So, and we've been doing wellness poses since November.
Yeah, here it is. The picture she sent me. Yeah, you really see. You see you have that side tricep, and you see a quad sweep. But yeah, you do have that bit of a bulge right there in the back. The thing is that with now you don't have to worry about your pulling your hair away. You don't have to see too much details of the back.
Nope. Yeah. And a lot of upper body, but muscle and training is already downsized tremendously, and so. You just have to imagine someone up on heels, with that same lower half.
I think this is the guy who's going to miss the most. This is, the Smurfs. We love as we know, as I often say, when your ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. So, but this was where you were before, but now you're going to another direction, and we gotta respect where you're
That was my
going.
best bodybuilding look, but they didn't really like it. So
Yeah. I think if like I said, it was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I think it would have been a great, probably you would probably be an Olympic competitor right now because especially that time we still had people like Daytona Bailey and also you had Judah McCarr, and you can't forget Shanique Grant. Um, this is from
oh yeah,
man.
rumor has it she's switching to wellness as well.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, you see, I've seen pictures of her. She looks like This is my man David says, "I like your long hair." He said he likes your hair. So, like I said, we're gonna keep her much longer because I know she's a busy lady. Last time we talked, she had a gym. You working someplace else, and now what you doing now?
Just going to be bartending part time and just having more time to uh, spend time with the clients. Because I mean, right now I have like 8 of them, and that counts for 2 that are actually just lifestyle clients. And there's going to be more coming, especially after this show that we sponsor literally in a month from now. And then as I go into prep and I'm starting to like round that corner towards the show, more and more people come to me for help. So it keeps doubling every year. And so that's where we're at with that. I'll probably work 2, maximum 3 times a week. And I told them that's all I can do. I can't do anymore. And that's just going to be more money to keep, my credit cards paid off. So when I'm doing all this stuff, because I purposefully, and thank God he did this for me, made it so that I was going to financially be set enough this year that even if I don't get any sponsors, it doesn't matter. I can do all of this myself, which is really kind of crazy. Like that's miracle stuff. I don't even know how that happened.
It's tough, especially if you like I say you get bodybuilding. Realize this is a poor man's sport. You have to come in here with your stack of chips. I know we talked about before how a lot of ladies have to do, as I call them, the beat the meat websites, and we know what they are.
Yeah, we know what they are.
Yeah, because come on, no guy just watching, just going and say, "Wow, watching." She got some pretty pictures. You know what she's doing? You're chilling, 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 chilling. So,
God.
hey, I'm one of them. So why not? I'm not telling no secrets. I know. So, but yeah, it's just when you get into this. This is really an investment, but an
Yep.
investment with little return. If you're lucky enough to get sponsors, I know a lady who I did interview a while back. Her name is Eunice. She also runs a business. It's called Bad Rap. Big and ripped and defined, and they do, apparel, stuff like that. They already sponsor some
Okay.
competitors. That's good. Wings of Strength that brings bodybuilding.
Right.
I think if there was more people who would be interested in maybe supporting you women in sport, maybe giving you opportunities. I mean, and a lot of these want to use like now you're in wellness, you're probably going to get more sponsorships because you're in a division they can sell because
Yeah,
you have the look.
they come at you a lot more, yeah, with opportunity for sure, which I
Yeah,
touched on earlier. So
yeah. And I know you got one of these guys saying like, "Hey Jada, I saw your picture bending over. I got some ideas for you." No,
yeah, I bet they do. I bet
no.
they do.
Yeah, but this is what you want. You want people to say, "Hey, Mrs. Beverly, we like your look, we like your style, we like your physique, we like to sponsor you," and that's really can help you in the long run. It's
Yeah,
tough, and we talked about this back and forth, what the stuff you have to go through, the hoops you got to jump through to do in this sport,
yeah,
and
it's a lot.
and sometimes, yeah, I think they go figure. So we like my man, what you talk about, Natalia. She's popular. You have someone like Sarah Vickers who has shows. She's a rich man's wife, so she don't really she's sponsoring shows. She's even speaking about stuff that's going on with the Arnold. You know, um, I would say this as a fan of this sport, and as a fan of you ladies, you deserve a lot more. I mean, you truly do. I mean, people got to realize it's a lot more expensive for you ladies to compete. A lot of time you got to put into it, and a lot of sacrifices. And she's wearing the muscle rim shirt. So
Also,
if you,
oh, sorry, that was my bad. Muscle
yeah,
realm.
muscle rim shirt. So if you want to, like I said, you can check her out. They also have an IG, I'll put it in the description so I don't forget about it. And you want to, if you're also somebody who's in the Ohio area or just you do online stuff too with training.
Yeah, of course. You got to do it all nowadays. We even have
Yeah.
like merch that can be bought online, which I have not posted all the different merch options yet because I'm waiting for them to get finished. But they're all going to be presented online because we're taking them to the show. And we got some really cool shirts. Like we got ones for men. Men love their linky little gym. We call them lat shirts. They show their lats and stuff, and the tank top is stringy. And they're called, you know, I guess gym stringers. Anyway, so the front will have the logo, but the back it's going to say, "If only you knew the power of the lean side."
Well, we just popped onto IG, pulled it up, and
Oh,
I will put it into.
that's a new client, or well, she's a posing client.
All right, and I think this is a gentleman you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, he's a pro now. He did really good. You wouldn't believe
63
the
years
age of
old.
this man.
Just so it's 63. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and you really are doing good work. I mean, working with people here, and you know, it's like I said, you come a long way. And here we have Tiffany, who I interviewed a while back, and I think she's supposed to be planning on competing. I was talking one time. I think she might consider maybe switching over to figure.
God,
I
I
think,
hope she does because that's where she belongs.
yeah, and we have here if you want, like I said again, folks, if you want to, follow the muscle rim training, I will leave the link in the comment section. Also, I put it into the live stream. So if you're someone maybe who's maybe thinking about competing, interested maybe being coached, or you're just want to change, your life.
Eating habits, maybe, because they're just not doing you any justice. We have folks like that all the time. You
Yeah.
know.
I need to do that, but I sometimes there's some things that just it's hard to let go, and sometimes that other guy he comes out, he just says, it's just I'm just a dog chasing cars, I'm incomplete, but Jada, thank you for coming. You complete.
You can do whatever you want. It's just that some people like they have a wedding coming up, or like they just had a baby and they're like, "Help me," just stuff
Yeah,
like that. It's really crazy.
yeah. I know. I look like I might have a baby, but nah, it's just fat.
No.
But anyway, guys, we like to thank Jada for coming through. We appreciate the time she gives us. I mean, she's a great lady. I hope all the best for her. And now she's going over to another division. Maybe might be. I'm saying sometimes, like I say, it's a hit or miss. This might be the division that might get her to the O. If not, hey, it might be something that works for her.
Yeah, and I just enjoy doing it and traveling the world and doing it.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to appreciate the guys coming through. The lovely Miss Darla Foy for coming through. My man Balls Deep. My brother was here. My brother Lawrence Perkins. My brother KL the Wanderer. Lion 2012. Warrior 2000. Tony 97. I mean, this is a lot of.
And I think there's a bunch of people that were telling me they were going to try to check into it later because people have to work and stuff, so they can watch it later, right?
Yeah, because like when you finish with it's being shown live, and even when after the live ends, it just pops the video into my YouTube channel.
Love it.
It's cool. gonna be if you go to if you follow me on YouTube, go to my YouTube channel. If you're watching it, click the in the link of the below the live. If you want to watch it, it's in the live section of my YouTube channel.
In live, okay.
Yeah. So
and you can send me a link anyway, right?
Yeah, I already sent you a link. It's the same link. It's just all you got to do is just go back to send to you on IG, and you just click it again. You'll see everything that it was, and you can. I got to work on some. I got to still cut some clips from it because my phone was running out of room, and I did this, and I'm behind my clips. But I was saying you got the link, and somebody knows how to work, they can cut the clips from it, or I can see some later on, when I get a chance. But like I said, I'll try to see something as soon as I can.
Okay, perfect. Well, now cat's out of the bag. All has been revealed. If anybody has any other questions, they know where to find me.
You know where to find you, and and guys, like I said, her social media stuff is in the description. Check her out. If you're interested, again, maybe reach out to maybe do some training or just do some lifestyle changes. Check out the muscle realm training, and follow her on that. And also, she says she's going to be. Where is the Mac Francois Classic?
That is right in Columbus at the Tuttle Marriott,
So if you're in that
Columbus,
area,
Ohio.
if you're in the Ohio area, and I've done some interviews with people who live in Ohio, and those are people that compete that live in Ohio. Go check it out. Go to their booth, maybe buy some merch, for yourself,
Yeah.
and maybe talk to her. And,
Get the new crop tops that on the back say "I am Glute."
yeah.
I'm so excited about those.
Yeah, I know you're happy. So, folks,
Oh.
I appreciate you coming through. Thank y'all. If like I said again, if you missed the live, you can catch it again. You can go to my YouTube channel. You also can find me on IG. Also follow Jada on IG. Support us in our content, and also support her in her upcoming competitions. Season. So I'd
Yeah.
like to thank y'all again. I appreciate the beautiful, amazing Miss Jada Beverly. Thank you for coming through as always. Maybe sometime we do a little chop up because every Monday I have my little live stream. If you ever have time,
Oh
you're
yeah,
welcome to us.
yeah. And there's some shows that are about to be happening this weekend. So okay, cool.
Yeah, because Pittsburgh, I'm not gonna talk too much about that one because it's I mean I'm already what I did was already the pay-per-view for the New York Pro, they had it for sale. So they had a
Oh,
discount, and I already got my copy because I want to check it out because
okay, cool. So you have that.
because Ashley Jones was making her debut with that show. I want to check her out. She actually
Yeah,
does.
that would
And
be a cool one to come and kind of help, kind of talk about,
yeah, I think
especially
I might do a live stream talk about that one the week
cool.
after next. But I have something else to talk about on my other thing. I might, if you're interested, I might invite you, see if you want to come on, and give your thoughts.
Aw.
And anybody else who watches this live stream, share, comment, subscribe, follow us on social media, support us in our social media platforms. YouTube really, the algorithm for women bodybuilding is not as high on YouTube, but if you can bring me up a little bit, it helps me up. I'm already almost at 2,000 subscribers. I just need maybe another 100 so people, and then
That's
I'm there.
awesome.
Yeah, take some time. I've been well in the way. So, like I said, folks, we'd like to appreciate Jada for coming through. Thank y'all for coming through and support us. And I hope y'all enjoy your week. This man always your page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Don't subscribe. I'm out. Good evening and good night, depending where you're at.
Goodbye.